Well, today is my second day at camp, and the first session that I went to was on rational functions, and I thought that might be helpful for both pre-cal and calculus. Most of the session was things that I was already pretty familiar with. It was emphasizing the fact that we don't have to have real specific graphing of the rational function. The purpose of this particular session was to give us pointers on how to graph rational functions without doing a XY chart. Most of the things I already did, but there were two things that I thought were very helpful in this session that I believe will be very useful. The main thing is I had never noticed the relationship between the multiplicity of a value that gives you a vertical asymptote and how that affects if you have an odd multiplicity that from approaching the asymptote from one side you'll be going down and from the other side up or vice versa. For even multiplicity, they'll both be going the same way. And I think that will be a big help in explaining to the kids. That way they won't have to do test points. Another thing that was kind of neat about that session was a program they had to graph, and it was called fluid graph. And that could be very helpful in graphing different kinds of functions when you want to get a quick graph for the kids. But overall, I think it was good to help me know I'm on the right track, not to emphasize so much the final details, but to look at end behavior, middle behavior, discontinuities, whether it's just an open hole or a vertical asymptote, looking for horizontal asymptotes, and then checking for intercepts. And again, the best thing to me for this particular session was the connection between the multiplicity of the factor that guarantees the asymptote and how that affects the graph. So I think that will be a very helpful thing to take back to my kids.